Unless you're a robot, you are going to have fears, doubts, insecurities, things that bubble up as you are preparing for your big launch. You can have the greatest plan, you can be the most practical, but you're still going to have these human doubts, these human emotions that are going to hold you back from pulling the trigger on your launch. I'm Jessica Castle, the Stress-Free Launch Strategist, and today I want to walk you through 4 of the biggest mindset shifts you need to make before you launch and really give you some practical tips for how you can ease yourself around them that isn't just, meditate, relax, and journal. While I am totally for woo-woo solutions, sometimes you need something practical to get you into action. Sometimes the only way to overcome a mindset shift or a mindset block is that you actually have to work through it. So today what I'm hoping to do is kind of confirm that you are not alone, that the fears you're having about launching are normal, and then also give you some solutions for how to move yourself forward despite having those blocks. And I hope that through working through these mindset issues and shifting them with these practical tips, you will be ready to pull off an amazing launch. One of the first mindset shifts that you need to make is to go big, to get visible. And that can be so scary, especially if you're more of a technical person, you were behind the scenes in other people's businesses, or you were kind of a graphic designer or tech implementer, and now you've put together a course. It can be really scary to know that now all eyes are on you and you're stepping forward into the center. But the sad truth is, launches are no longer just about sending a series of emails. The days of 2010 successful launching in that way are long gone, and visibility is really a key factor. I bet if you think of like the 3 programs you've invested in, you were more investing in the visibility and greatness of the person who was hosting the course than it was like the actual course, right? You wanted to learn from that expert. You wanted to be similar to that very visible person, right? So a few practical things you can do to kind of start working on this mindset and shifting it is way before you're even thinking of launching, take some baby steps in the visibility department by booking yourself on some guest podcasts or booking yourself some guest posts on other websites. By booking yourself on podcasts or guest posting, you don't have the attention all on you, but you get to be brought into the expert, and it really props you up as someone knowledgeable, someone that this blog or this person is trusting to share an opinion with their audience. So the eyes aren't all on you because there might be someone else on the podcast, or there might be a panel if you're participating in a telesummit. Any of those things can be baby steps you can take to be comfortable being visible when it's time to turn your launch on. The other thing to kind of work on is think of it as building relationships, introducing yourself to people. Don't always think of it as high pressure sales or pitching people, but just genuinely come from a place of building relationships, and it's much easier to step into that visibility space. And then the third thing you need to work on is going live during your launch, whether that is doing a webinar or going on Facebook Live to talk about your upcoming program, or the cart is open. Anytime you can go live, anytime you can be comfortable showing your face is going to 10 times the amount of results that you can get on your launch, because people are going to know, like, and trust you so much faster than if you were, behind the scenes or only typing in words. They're just going to resonate with you so much more if you can get on video and go live during your launch. So once you're no longer afraid of being the expert and getting visible, which I promise is so much more comfortable once you get there, that you are going to run into the fact that somebody else is probably already teaching what you're doing, whether they're doing it as a paid program like you are, whether it's a book. The thing is, there's really no new ideas anymore. Everything is just recycled all the way back to things Aristotle did, right? Don't put so much pressure to be like the new and only, because that's not what sells a program. In fact, it's actually great news if 1, 2, 5, 10 people are already teaching about the topic that you want to launch a course on, because there is money in that market. And what is awesome is that you can come in and say why you're different. Maybe you have coaching calls or one-to-one calls as part of your offer. Maybe you have a unique perspective. Maybe you found a hack that makes it easier to go from point A to point Z. Whatever that is, whatever your unique system or approach is to the topic, that is what's going to sell your program. So lean into your how and your why behind the topic, and not focused on, oh, well, everyone's already teaching about blogging, so there isn't one more course about blogging that needs to be made. Your course is going to be special. Your course is going to serve the people that it's meant to. All right, so you have shifted your mindset and are ready to be an expert. You've shifted your mindset that the market can totally hold one more of your course. But the biggest mindset shift that you need to make next is getting over the fear of, what if no one buys it? If you fell into the last mindset shift and you definitely have a ton of people in your program space, you can practically get over this because you have vetted your idea. There is proof that this idea or this course topic makes money. You can also go to Amazon, and if you haven't found, other courses about it, go to Amazon and look up books on that topic. Do some vetting to make sure that the idea you have in the program you want to create is actually something people would buy, based on the fact that other people have already sold it. And by doing that, you can prove to yourself that yes, people do buy things like this. The other thing you could do is just find a comfortable price. It doesn't need to be a $2,000 course right out the gate. Online prices change all the time. Online marketing tactics change all the time, and you can be totally flexible in opening a program at $97 and working up to 3 years later, it is $2,000. Or you can also do a beta test. So do a small investment to get people into your program, just to prove to yourself that this program will sell. For me, I'm not one of those people who recommends going premium right off the bat unless you kind of have a proven audience that really knows, like, and trusts you. For me, I personally even like to learn lessons the hard way, or I like to choose affordable pricing that I can assure myself people will invest in. So that's also something I sometimes recommend to my clients, is just, what's a price you feel good about and you think your audience would feel good about, and don't put pressure to feel so premium right away that your fear and your mindset around no one's going to buy this actually manifests itself as true. The fourth and final mindset shift that I want to share with you tonight is about unsubscribes. Another really big kind of fear people have around launches is that everyone's going to unsubscribe from their list. And while there will be some unsubscribes from your email list, there's a lot of practical steps you can take to make sure that it is minimal damage to your list. Number one is deliver amazing content before you launch, whether that is 6 months before, a year before, whatever. This is why people recommend kind of blogging and emailing your list weekly, is that it keeps them in touch with you, it keeps you top of mind, it builds trust, and if you're sharing really, really good stuff, no one's going to mind when you ask for a little bit of money in return for all the amazing content you've been pumping out over the past 6 to 12 months. You can also go ahead and pre-segment your list to see who might be interested. So send out a quick survey to your list, have them self-designate in one direction or another. In a recent launch I just worked on, we had people designate if they were employed, self-employed, or unemployed, just so we could go ahead and take out anyone who is unemployed and might be offended that the price tag was a little bit high, into the thousands. So you can take preemptive steps like that to segment your list and make sure you're not necessarily offending anyone who really wouldn't be a good fit for the program anyway. And then the actual mindset shift I want you to take is to embrace the unsubscribes, especially when you're launching. And especially if you've only got one or two kind of these signature core offerings. If you are opening your program and they are unsubscribing, and that is the only program you have to offer, that's a good unsubscribe, because they were never going to buy that program. And if that's all you're offering, you didn't lose anything by having them leave your list, except for someone who was just there to grab your freebie content. So I hope these practical tips toward addressing these 4 kind of fears and mindset blocks are helpful to you, and that you can take these kind of practical steps as I need to really solve and get over my fears. I can really only work through my mindset blocks and my doubts if I get into action. Some of the other things out there don't totally work for me. So I wanted to share these kind of tips with you if you were also someone who needed a practical solution to your mindset block, and to make these shifts so that you can have an amazing stress-free launch. If you have any other fears or mindset blocks that are holding you back from launching, please leave a comment below, and I would love to offer you a practical solution for how to overcome them. And otherwise, I will be back next week with another stress-free launch tip.